band in this section. It's Kim Mabley. Make some noise for Kim Mabley!
Hiya. Well done for everyone actually coming out tonight. So I have to admit, I've got a bit of a cough, so tonight I'm identifying as Miss Piggy because I've got a frog in my throat. Thank you. So I'll tell you a bit about myself. Believe it or not, I'm actually 41. Thank you. That's the reaction I want. Thank you. So people do ask me how I stay looking so young, and I say that I eat well, I drink lots of water, and I do get regular facials. I mean, normally I swallow, but every so often I just ask him to aim for my T-zone. So I am straight, although I have thought about turning the other way, because who wouldn't want to live with someone who can not only find your clit, but also put the toilet seat down? But I do like men. I like men like my coffee and my chocolate. Rich. And inside me. Although some days I like him like a slinky, you know, easy to push down the stairs. Speaking of my ex, he would get a bit full of himself, you know, act taller than his height. He would say things like he couldn't go out with someone whose BMI was higher than their IQ, which is ironic, because if he spent more time in the gym and less time on his Xbox and lost some weight, he could have brought his penis size up to the UK average. It's like, I never minded... It's like... It's like... I never minded the Xbox, but you think he'd be a lot better at fingering and pressing my buttons. Although he is now with another girl, but I'm not sad, because she's just now sucking the cock that used to fuck my ass. Was that the line? No. Good. So, I actually enjoyed being single, but I was really picky. Like, I was swiping left on Tinder so much, I gave myself carpal tunnel. And I just didn't get the new terminology. Like, situationship, love bombing, catfishing, hatfishing, breadcrumbing, and what the fuck is cookie jarring? Like, take me back to the days where a sticky dance floor and a can of hooch gave you enough time to rub up against someone long enough to swap phone numbers and saliva. Is that your medication? So, most nights I would just spend in with my wank bank. Ladies, do we call it a wank bank, or is it the V-Vault or the fanny files? You know, where you have to use your imagination with Captain America or Ted. I was going to say Ted Bundy then. Thanks, Jordan. Or Tom Hardy. Or one of those not-so-lonely nights where you have to give yourself a bit of a kickstart. But I am now with a lovely partner, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for him and nothing I wouldn't let him do to me. But he can be a bit forgetful. Like, he'll say things like, babe, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And I'm like, you're definitely going. If you were coming, you would look like you're having a stroke. So he's so forgetful. He forgets I fucking hate football. And he talks about it with such passion, which I think's strange considering he's Scottish. And he'll be like, we scored a penalty and we got a goal. I think that's right. And I'm like, who's we? You're not part of the team. I mean, he does dribble, play with his balls, and he definitely over-eggs an injury. But the only running around he does on a Saturday is taking me home bargains and Primark. So when we first got together, he'd not long had to rehome his dog, and I feel like I'm the puppy replacement, because I get excited whenever I see him. I give him lots of sloppy kisses, and when I'm a good girl, I get a bone. The only difference is I don't have to shit outside, and I can't come on demand. Like, no matter how much encouragement he gives me, come on, girl, you can do it, you can do it. I know I can do it. I want you to make me do it. Sadly, though, he has actually just gone celibate. Well, he started wearing Crocs, which is basically the same thing. So I've had this idea where I think Crocs and Superdry should get a brand deal together, and at least then Crocs come with a warning label on how they make women feel. So we are actually getting married next year. Yeah. So he'll be my second husband, and I'll be his last wife. Like, I much prefer the term widow to divorcee. So I have thought if the comedy career doesn't take off, I could have a lucrative one in squashing. Anybody know what squashing is? Some of you? None of you? No? Well, some of you got some homework to do later. It's basically where a woman of a particular size sits on a man and he fucking loves it. And I do get plenty of practice. Well, it is just mostly me sitting on his face. But he doesn't seem to mind, but then it's hard to ask because his voice is so muffled. But then I have thought I could use it to euthanize him if he ever gets too sick, too old, or his loud chewing just gets too fucking annoying. Like, believe me, when you were this size, it's so easy to convince a policeman that your partner died because you couldn't hear his screams over your own. But I would hope he had the decency to at least let me finish first, because I prefer if he died with a smile on my face. But then the cause of death would be more drowning than suffocation. That means I squirt. So I know some of you are looking at me like I look quite maternal, and to those who like to chase the chub, pretty damn fit. You don't know whether to let me babysit your kids or motorboat me. Trust me, one of those things is not going to happen. I hate kids. Okay, I don't hate kids. I actually have a 19-year-old son, so he's technically an adult, but, well, at least I have to keep telling him that, you know, in case he gets caught. And you know, he is great. He's good looking and clever like his mum, but he can be a bit of a dickhead like his dad and his mum. In fact, I have him in my phone as idiot child, but he has me down as Mein Führer, which I think's a bit harsh. Because at least Hitler got people to do as they're told. I ask him to do the dishes, and I get those 3 words that every parent hates in a minute. But then thinking about it, that's how long it took to conceive him, because back then I also had to finish the job off myself. No, he is great. And when it was just us living together after I divorced his dad, it was a no-fault divorce. It was nobody's fault. He was born a twat. When it was just us living together, I let him have all his mates round because I was the cool mum. I let him stay up late, eat all the snacks. But sometimes it was like they had their own language. You know, you speak. And I'd try and play along, be down with the kids, safe sound, wagwan. And he actually had to take me to one side and write out a list of words I'm not allowed to say. What did he think I was going to do? Walk in like a G and go, yo fam, let's link in the yard, spit some bars, bare flex our grams and spill the tea on who's vexed because they got pied off by some peng ting. I have no idea what I've just said. No, so he is actually quite impressed I do this, but one of his mates keeps trying to slide into my DMs, and I'm sorry, but I've not got the time and energy to train someone who's just going to come in his pants as soon as I flash in my boobs. Plus, like I said, I have got a lovely partner, and you know, I want to give some advice to the ladies in the room. So if you're out and about, because it is scary out there, especially out there. If you're out and about getting some unwanted attention by a man who's not ticking all your boxes to get in your box, I've got 3 surefire put-downs to get rid of them. 1, I would rather staple my fanny shirt. 2, I bet your penis is so small, not yours, sweetheart, sorry. I bet your penis is so small that if you ran into a wall with a boner, you would break your nose first. And 3, and my personal favourite, there is only enough room on my knickers for 1 cunt. So I do have to go now because it is time for my walk, but I think you can all agree I've definitely been a good girl.
Kim Maybelline!